Well, this is my CNC machine, which means computer numeric control. It's controlled by a computer over here. I designed and built it myself, and it's kind of large, as you can see. It's 78 inches long and 58 inches wide. It can cut flat, and on this guy here it can cut round, as in sticks like this, which start out square. I create 3D files on my laptop, bring them out here, put them into this computer, and it sends signals out to these stepper motors that move the apparatus up, down, and around. It's a little pixelated. Also, you can see where I'm using a 1/8 inch bit, you can see the lines that it'll create into it. Pretty funky. This is the Mach 3 CNC controller. We have a text file over here. Each line of text tells the machine where the bit should be at any given moment. So it sends signals, pulses out to the stepper motors. This window here shows the paths, and where the path is overlapping so much it just looks like one solid piece. This column here tells where the tip of the bit is. Right now it's 1.7 inches off the surface of the cutting material, and everything else is zeroed. I use this little guy. It goes on infrared, and it's got a full keyboard. And I use the keyboard. I use the these two arrows to move it sideways, these two arrows to move it lengthwise, and the up and down to bring it up and down. So X, Y, and Z. I load the text file into Mach 3, and it turns it into pulses that come out through the printer port, come into here. You can see a printer port connection here. Got 4 chips on here that interpret the pulses, and then takes the voltage, the amperage and the voltage, ups it so it's strong enough to move these motors. This one is done in what's called V-carving, which I created a vector outline and told the software what bit I was going to use. I used a couple of different bits. You can see on the tree here, the depth is over 1 inch, which is, I think, makes it look real nice. This is actually made up of one component being the dished in piece, another component being each of the trees, another being the ribbon, and another being the text. And they're in the software, in the Aspire software, you actually see it as a tree, this being the mother or the root, and everything laid on top of it. Some of it's merged, some of it's laying on top. Oh, I went online and I searched for a picture of a distelfink, which is, I believe, Pennsylvania Dutch for a bird of good luck. And I found one that I liked. I used the same dish shape that I created for the other side. And then I had these vectors. Each one of these shapes is a separate vector. Like the heart here was one vector, the heart line outline around it was another one, actually a pair. And then on this heart vector here, it had little circles in it, and I told it, okay, raise up at a certain degree to a maximum of so much, and it did. And then I said, okay, inside these holes, I wanted to be holes. I wanted to cut in so far. So I cut each one in so far. And on this, I did similar, and same for all of it. Just went through piece by piece. You notice the eyeball even has a little pupil carved into it. Okay, here we have 4 lithophanes, which is an ancient Chinese art. In this case, it's been modernized a bit with a CNC machine and Korean countertop material. The old ones were made out of porcelain. Got some 3D carvings. Indian face going into an eagle, which is also back there in a larger size. Got my self-portrait. Got a little bit of the Last Supper over here. And we have mother and child both over there in the smaller one and larger one. It's real easy to change size in the software. Got a little bird's eye redwood clock that I made. The round posts over here were redwood 4x4s. If you zoom in close, you can actually see fingernails on the dragon. The dragon's pupils even. It's amazing what the machine can do. This was a photograph, and had the computer interpret the lightest areas to be cut the deepest and the darkest areas to be cut the shallowest. So it's going back and forth. It's going up and down with the bit, cutting deep where it's supposed to be white, cutting shallow where it's supposed to be dark, and the gray areas in between are in between. This is backlit, but without the backlighting it looks rather weird. Yeah, I think it's a really neat effect. The original ones they carved in beeswax and then made slip molds with porcelain.